Hi team, my name is Eric Brooksby. I work for Canary Concussion. I have been for quite some time now, helping them develop this tool. This tool is extraordinarily beneficial to any coach, parent, or organization wanting to better track the concussions of their athletes or their children. I'm going to take a few minutes to walk you through the app right now. I'm going to try and fit it into a 10-minute video, so feel free to reach out to anyone on our team if you have any questions after this video. Okay, I'm going to hop right in. You can see the Canary logo here, right blue with the bird. I'm going to click on that, get right into the app. Now I'm already logged in, so all of my teams are preloaded. I'm going to click here on the Real First team. That's the account that I have set up right now. I'm going to click on Albert. I'm going to go through his tests. So this is a good place to see the tests that any of your players have already taken. You can compare it to their baselines and any other tests that they may have taken. Okay, I'm going to run a mock SCAT 3 on Albert right now, and first thing you're going to see when you start the test is the obvious questions. Are there any loss of consciousness? How's his balance? Things along those lines. You can make notes anywhere throughout here. I am going to just make up a lot of this as I go. You'll see a little bit later on when I show you the reporting that a lot of the data is made up, just so that I can give you an overall view of how this test works. So you're going to go through and answer all of these questions. The Glasgow Coma Scale is very important. It's a scale that right off the bat is going to tell you if you need to take the player or student to the hospital. Anything lower than a 15 is considered a very serious injury and should probably take them to the hospital right away. So you're going to ask them a few questions. All of this is verbal. What half is it? Who scored last? What venue are we at today? Things like that. And then it's going to ask, what happened to the player? I had a concussion once where I hit my head on a goalpost, so I'm going to type that in right here. Pretty common in soccer, actually. Symptom evaluation, again, I'm just going to go through, put a whole bunch of numbers here, but make sure that you're asking these questions, get the best answers that you can. This data is very important for tracking, especially on the recovery side of a concussion. So get the best answers that you can from them and move on. Moving on to symptom evaluation, fairly straightforward here. Who does the test? Is the person or athlete any different? Again, very straightforward there. Gonna hop right into this. This is where the speech plays in.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. Please listen carefully and give your best effort. What month is it?
As you can see here, he's asking the questions and the athlete will dictate their response and it'll be recorded there.
What is the date today?
Again, the voice within the app will ask the questions and the athlete will dictate their response.
What is the day of the week?
Now, I'm going to put the app on pause for just a second to restate. The app will ask the questions and the response will be recorded via voice.
What year is it? What time is it right now?
So you can go in and correct any mistakes that you think you saw, correct, incorrect, go through, you have complete control. In this next section, the computer will do all of that for you.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
After that list is read, the athlete will repeat all of the words that they can remember, and the tool will decide whether or not they were accurate in restating the words. It looks like there were 2 incorrect answers in the athlete's attempt on this one. The test then moves on to some more cognitive assessments, lists of numbers to be repeated backwards. Same concept. The app will tell the athlete which numbers to remember. The athlete will restate the numbers and it will be dictated and recorded right there, and you can mark correct or incorrect. Goes through a list of the months, repeat the months backwards, so on and so forth. Move right into the neck examination, range of motion, tenderness. You can add any notes. There's multiple places throughout this test that you can add notes all these notes will be recorded on the final assessment document in the SCAT 3 report. Balance examination. You can use speech in here as well on the keyboard, just as you would on your iPhone or any other device, and it will dictate whatever you say. Whatever's recorded in these notes will be on the final SCAT 3 assessment, so be as descriptive as you can. Going to move into some balance exams. There's a really cool timer feature within here. So this test specifically is a balance test, and you start the timer. You can see the timer starting right there. In the bottom right hand and left hand corners, you can add mistakes. So I'm going to add a mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes. Add and take away as many mistakes as you want. If you do make a mistake in recording the errors, don't worry, you can change the amount of errors made on this home page right here. See where the result number 3 is. You can change that number to a 4 or a 5 if you feel like you missed it. These buttons are extraordinarily beneficial. Keeps the time and your mistakes all in one place. Really easy to keep track of those. This timer feature carries on throughout the rest of the tool. It's not extraordinarily difficult to use at all. It's very simple and straightforward, both counting up and counting down. In this tandem gait, it's a counting up. You count for as long as they can hold it. If it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it may be, you can record the time manually, or you can do it within the timer. The timer will track the time that the athlete was able to perform said task. We're now moving on to the final stages of the exam with the finger to nose test. Pretty easy to use, which arm you used, and whether or not they passed or failed. You're then taken back to the original list of words that were spoken by the app for the athlete to remember. The athlete will be required to remember as many of the words that they can from the list that you gave them previously. In this case, they were able to remember 3 words, but they forgot 2. And that finalizes the test. The test is now complete. Move on to the scoring portion. You can compare with their latest baseline. Remember, this is for a athlete named Albert, and none of this data is accurate. It's all made up for this purpose to show you how the app works. So you get some of these side-by-side comparisons. You see the baseline scores down here on items 1 through 9, and you see the overall baseline to current test scores. You can go back and forth. You can make changes in the test if needed. But again, the side-by-side comparison is incredibly important for analyzing your athlete and his recovery, as well as any concussion events you may have. Now let's move on to the website portion of the app. After you log in, you go right to your home page. We're looking at your home page. You can see the amount of baselines completed. Doesn't matter the size of your organization. All of your teams, all of your athletes are going to be all right there. So we're going to go right into Albert. We're going to look at his test. It's titled Unknown because I didn't take the time to title the assessment that we took. This is the report of the test that we just took. We see everything in a really readable format where you can analyze the symptom severity. You can analyze the pain, the symptoms, everything that the athlete is feeling. Up here in the right-hand corner, you see a little print button. This print button takes you to the official SCAT 3 format where everything is filled in. Everything that you filled in on the test will be filled in here. All of these scores are recorded in a way that you can download this as a PDF, share it with your trainers, share it with your doctor, share it with parents, share it with anyone you have involved in this athlete's recovery, making sure that everyone is on the same page with the head injury. We feel that this is incredibly important to be shareable, and so we make it that way. So again, you have 2 forms of this test. You can see the results on your Canary Concussion website, and then you can see it in the SCAT 3 official format as well. You can go in here. You can use the overview to see your entire overview. You can go into users and teams. Right now I'm going through and I'm going to show you a little bit on how to filter down through the different athletes, through the teams. If you click right here on teams, go Real Salt Lake first team, assessments. I'm going to go all baselines under 22 in the last 3 months. Now, again, none of this data is accurate because none of the data that I put in is real. But you will be able to see all of this. You'll be able to search individually for each athlete, for every athlete that you have on your roster, and you will be able to share all of those reports. Now, that concludes the app walkthrough. I know I kind of went through it really fast, and there may be some questions. Feel free to reach out to the Canary Concussion team. We are happy to help and answer any questions you might have. Again, this app is ever evolving and ever changing, so be aware of the possibility of updates. Check the App Store for updates. We're excited to have you on board, and thanks for taking the time today.